Dive into the deep reservoirs of ancient wisdom found in the Bible and the musings of luminaries like Socrates. Join us as we embark on a thrilling quest to unravel life's mysteries and chart a path towards fulfillment and success. Get ready to be inspired, to be challenged, and to be empowered as we harness the power of words to transform our. All right. Seems our technical difficulties from last week have followed us into this week. But relentless. We are going to be relentless on this journey of ours as we pursue these dreams that we have. Word Wednesday. And today's Word Wednesday is most applicable to me, most applicable to my current season. And I thought I would share it with you as my fine compatriot that you are. And hopefully it can be to some extent helpful to you as well. If you are seeing me for the first time, my name is Falu, and if you are joining us for the first time, this is Word Wednesday, where we draw from ancient wisdom and try to pull from great thinkers, luminaries, and hopefully use their thoughts and advice to help us navigate in our life. I draw from books such as the Bible. I draw from books such as Beyond Good and Evil. I draw from the Phaedo. I draw from the Republican. I believe it's the Republican. All kinds of books and all kinds of spaces and knowledge and experiences to put together these thoughts that I put together here. Today, I am going to start this specific sharing that I'm going to give. I'm going to give it from a very, very specific reading today. Psalms 23. I'm going to be talking about idols, this idea of idols, and what the issue is with them, right? I'm going to take quite the different approach towards addressing this issue of idols. Not Idols, the musical show, because I know this is a very Christianese way of saying things, or word, idols. It's a very Christianese word. And I try my best to avoid Christianese whenever I am sharing these sorts of thoughts. So, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that is the specific verse that we want to draw on today. It isn't the first verse that will come to mind when you think through this idea of idols. There's so many other readings that I could have chosen to speak on this specific issue of idols, but I thought this one would likely be the most useful because so many of us, and I am including myself here, are walking through the valley of the shadow of death daily. Daily, right? And let me finish the whole verse so that maybe it can come to some sort of light what exactly I'm trying to put across with this specific, with my choice in verse. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Emphasis on the "for you are with me." I will fear no evil, for you are with me. But before we get into the specific part that links up with our conversation on idols today, I wanted to talk through, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and highlight this point. How many of us are willing to walk through the valley of the shadow of death? How many of us? In your life, in business, in your finances, in your relationships, are you willing to walk through the valley of the shadow of death? You specifically, are you willing to walk through the valley of the shadow of death? Let me get out of the Christianese way of saying this. Are you willing to do what it takes to get to where you want to get? Are you willing to put in the hours? Are you willing to wake up when other people are asleep? Are you willing to carry the weight of the stress? Are you willing to walk through the valley of the shadow of death to get to where you want to? But here's the part that links up with this idea of idols. If you are willing to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, in what is your confidence? Why are you confident enough to walk through the valley of the shadow of death? What makes you confident enough? What makes you believe that you're going to reach the point, the goal that you want to reach? For some of us, me specifically, at times it could be the access that I have to certain people, certain circles, certain spaces. Sometimes we get so encircled, so comfortable because of the people and the attributes that we attribute to the characteristics that we attribute to the people around us. Some of us have complete and total trust to go through this month's valley of the shadow of death because of our job. Some of us have our parents. Some of us have friends. Some of us have investments. All kinds of things. Some of us have trusted confidants that we can share our secrets with, and they will talk us through a difficult patch in our relationship. Some of us have trust in the love that we have for the people we're in relationship with, or the love that they have for us in return. See, so many things that could make us confident to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And these are the things that I want to address as idols today. Right? Nothing in this world is eternal, and nothing in this world will last forever. Not the amount of money that you have, not the friends that you have, not the family that you have, not even yourself. Right? At the end of the day, it all comes down to, where have you put your trust? And this specific conversation for me segues into the idea of sin. Gonna visit it lightly, not gonna get too deep into it. This is the best visualization, or the best rendition of what sin actually is for me. Why do we lie? Why do you lie? Why do I lie? Specifically me. I'll talk to myself and hopefully you're honest enough to also search yourself in that way. Why would I lie? Often, if I'm lying, it's because I fear a certain outcome. and I would like to control that outcome. Right? That's why. So, what exactly is wrong with me trying to control the outcome here? What is exactly is wrong with me trying to change things so that, or lie about things so that I don't get into trouble about certain things? What is so wrong about that? About lying, right? For one, you or me, I assume myself sovereign enough to know exactly how a situation should go. That's the first place that's wrong. And I am often wrong about it too. Many times I'll try to control a situation by maneuvering how people see the situation. And at the end of the day, I end up messing it up more than I intended, more than I intended to. And often it is because I'm not seeing the fuller picture. And that's where the sin comes from. It's being under the impression that you know enough in the situation to decide how it should play out. Right? Who's or what is the idol in that case? Myself. Because I see myself as powerful enough to be the one who should be consulted on the end of this specific situation. What other sort of sins can we replace here as as a thing of idols? Like maybe theft. Why do people steal? Because they want to control who has what. Every time that I have taken from someone, usually my dad. I put my dad quite through quite some when I was younger. He was pretty gracious in dealing with it, but anyway, confessions. Should have put this in yesterday's conversation, but here's where it decides to show itself. But yeah, what was I talking about? Stealing. What's up with that? It's like I believe that having this resource is going to solve the specific problem that I'm having right now, and so my solving this problem supersedes your having what you have. And as such, I, being the ruler and controller of this very circumstance, am going to decide who should have this. Because the final judgment is mine. That's where the issues come from. Almost, or in fact, all sin comes from a self-centric worldview, right? Being in a place where you believe that you can decide the outcomes of things, whilst you have no sense at all of how things should pan out, because you're not aware of every single detail in any kind of circumstance. So now, let's talk through how this applies in our general life, right? That thing that you're worried about, that valley of the shadow of death that you're going through, right? Why is it such a big deal for you? What does it say about you if you go through the valley of the shadow of death? Because many of us are unwilling to go through the valley, and I'm drawing back from our conversation on Monday here. Many of us are unwilling to go through the valley of the shadow of death, not because the valley of the shadow of death itself is frightening, but more because what exactly will people think of me? What exactly will this situation say about me and who I am, right? And we avoid the valley of the shadow of death because I'm going to come closer to home. What will people think about me if I lose everything that I have? What will people think about me if I lose all the friends that I have, all the connections that I have? What will people think of me then? What will people think of me if I'm unable to do a certain thing? Right? But for us who are believers, here's the solace there. Even if we go through the worst, it doesn't matter at all what other people say or think about it or what that situation does to you. At the end of the day, what matters is for you are with me. And here's why that matters. I do not have a responsibility to uphold what people believe and think about me. Have no responsibility at all to that. None whatsoever. All my responsibility belongs to who I believe I am. And who I believe I am, me specifically, comes from what God says I am. Right? And because of that, there isn't a single situation that I could get into, that I can imagine right now as I'm speaking at least, because I can't predict the future. There isn't a single situation that I would not be willing. Ooh, as I say this, I'm telling you, I am afraid of the commitment that these words bind me to. But right now, I can't think of a single thing that the knowledge of God sojourning with me will not comfort me through. And there are all kinds and all sorts of storms right now, that are happening right now. Storms of unimaginable proportion that I'm having to deal with. But much of my anxiety is quelled and much of it is comforted, specifically because of those words, for you are with me. And I'm walking through these storms, coming on here smiling and having good conversations with you, whilst in reality, all kinds of storms are brewing in very tumultuous ways. But for you are with me has comforted me through and through. Because at the end of the day, the only opinion that matters to me is that of the one who created me. Right? And that is the only opinion that I feel responsible to uphold. I do have to jump to a meeting here quickly, but I hope we can appreciate this idea of why challenges should not cause us to fear. Right? Fear in itself is placing your trust in something that you know is failing. That is what fear is. I can't trust this thing to take care of me in this situation because I know it's going to fail me. So I'm afraid. I can't sit on this chair because I know one of its legs is broken. Even though it is still standing right now, I know if I put my weight on it. Oh, I'm talking to the wrong camera. I know if I put my weight on this specific chair, which is broken, it is sure to drop me. That is why I'm afraid, right? That is why you would be afraid. That is why I would be afraid in a situation like that. So, here's my proposition to you today. Throw away your idols. What is your idol? Identify it. What beliefs do you have about certain things that give you the sort of trust you have in them? Like money. Do you have trust in money? Do you think money will save you? You know it's fleeting because you know it isn't eternal. Do you have trust in, what else could you have trust in possibly? Here we are. So it begins. Sorry, one quick second here. Do you have trust in your friends? Do you have trust in your family? They will certainly also disappoint you. So, those are my points here. Throw away your idols and trust in more eternal things, more stable, solid things. And I tried my best to make this as far away from a preaching as it possibly could be, but there's no other way for me to say it. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. right? And whatever else you are carrying with you, is it causing you to fear because you know you're carrying dead weight? Or is it giving you assurance because you know it itself gives you life or gives life, period? Yeah, did my best to stay away from the Christianese here, but yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. What are you carrying with you into the valley of the shadow of death? I guess I'm back to preaching then. Next week, let's explore some other thoughts that could be helpful to us. And I might even expand on this introductory message that I've given here on idols. Might expand on these ideas of idols themselves. Might expand on the idea of fear and the anxiety that is caused from carrying something that you do not trust to get you through whatever you're going through. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. The walking through the valley of the shadow of death is not the problem. The trials and the tribulations are not the problem. What do you trust in to carry you through that valley of the shadow of death that you're going through, that tribulation? What do you trust in to get you up every single morning when you know that you need to grind in order to make that business happen? What do you trust in when you know that you have to put in sacrifices to make sure that your financials are where they should be, your family is taken care of? What do you trust in when you are reaching out for your dreams and all kinds of challenges are in your way? What do you trust in? That is my conversation for the day, 28th of April, 28th of April. Come visit me. Come have a conversation with me. Come share a cup of tea with me. Let's share some music and hopefully we can also get into a deeper understanding of, wow, this camera is just doing its thing. We can get into a deeper understanding of who we are as people and also this music, what it's about, why I feel personally it is so important to share this music personally, and what are some of my drivers, what are the reasons why I do what I do. So yeah, if these are questions that you would take some joy in getting answers from, join me on the 28th. Let's have that conversation. Let's have that cup of tea. And the September date, we're still working on that September date and making sure that it is solid and making sure that it is going to be most convenient for all the people who are looking to come out and support. So yeah, thank you very much if you've listened up to this point. I do appreciate you. This one has been quite there's been quite a lot of turmoil in this one, but I'm gonna be here every single day. I must apologize for not making 4 o'clock yesterday, but I still managed to get one in yesterday. Life, work, and all things around it are making it quite interesting to do these, and I will continue to do them despite and in spite of my valley of the shadow of death. Yeah, so thank you very much for joining me here and signing out. I appreciate you.